Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen, today we're going to be talking about the one, the only beloved Toshi. Now, we are going to be giving some price predictions, and I am going to show you the chart on a zoomed out picture. Okay. Here's the deal, people, right? I believe Toshi will be hitting at least multiple billions in market cap. And that's what we're going to start off with, right? That's where we're going to start off with. Let's say Toshi roughly 10x's. Let's just say it's going to 3 billion market cap for the sake of simplicity and round numbers. We can see that, look, even if you were to buy right now, boom, you would be looking at upwards of roughly 9.5 times your money, right? Even if your portfolio went down at one point, let's say there was like a quick fake out or a retest and went down 50%, the upside is still 9.5 times gains from where we're at right now. Okay. So here's the deal, people. I really want to start shifting your mindset. Now, you might think that's crazy, but it's really not. Look, 3 billion market cap, that is more than realistic. We have multiple coins, even just right now, chilling at between the 1.5 to 3 billion market cap for meme coins, right? If we go to something like this, when we go to something like this, go to something like this, we can see memes, right? We can see 1.3, 1.3, 1.3, 1 billion, 2.3 billion, 2.9 billion, 5.9 billion. So, hitting a 3 billion market cap in a time where altcoins are really going to be pumping and pumping and pumping, and meme coins are going to be really flourishing is not like crazy at all. Like 3 billion is actually very, very underwhelming during the prime of altcoin season. So, yeah, I am looking for bigger gains. I do think in a more realistic manner, we could be hitting upwards of 10 billion market cap. Now, that's something way more realistic and way more probable. Look, at the end of the day, we may not be a dog, but we are probably going to be the most valuable cat coin there is out there. And we are also on base. Okay, we are also on base, and we are just being the one that's also the most loved. So we can see, in terms of underwhelming results, 3 billion market cap is somewhere over here. In terms of more realistic results, in my personal opinion, we can spike up to 10 billion. And let's just say we become the sheep of this altcoin season, right? Let's say we might not be the number one or two most pumped meme coin in terms of gains, right? Or ratios. But let's say we do become the sheep of, you know, altcoin season. We could be hitting upwards of 30 billion market cap. Now, yes, this is like a moon boy type of prediction. Okay, yes, this is moon boy. But you have to remember other meme coins have done this in the past. But we will be mainly talking about these two lower price points. Look, if I were supposed to take a Fibonacci from the 10 billion market cap to, let's just say, the bottom of this whole entire main range, let's just do something like this. Let's just use this range. This range is way more relevant, right? Look at this. Look how amazing we are in terms of getting perfect, not perfect entries, but just great ratios, right? We're buying when it's at an 88% discount. Anything above the 0.50 is already getting risky, right? We can see the yellow line is kind of overlapping with the white line because that's, of course, our top. So just in case you are confused, this is how it would look like if we were at the top, right? If we hit to 10 billion market cap and the top was here, right? The chart would look something like this, right? Boom, 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 like this, boom, 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 boom. Okay. So you just have to imagine a little bit. But look, man, we are buying at a massive, massive discount zone. It's why whales don't care about, getting the perfect and cheapest price. They don't care about going down 20% because they're just looking to be accumulating pretty much below the 88% because they know this coin will go to multiple billions of market cap and they know the gains are going to be amazing. Look, you got to remember at one point, we will be rising high and there will be people that buy in at 2 billion, at 3 billion, at 5 billion market cap because they believe they can still get a 10 or 20x from those positions. So look, I'm telling you guys, things are going to look really, really good. You shouldn't worry too much about the micro positions. It's why institutions, it's why investors with a lot of money, they just try to buy at very key zones. They just try to buy at discount zones because they know this is how the bigger picture looks like. This is how institutions look at everything. Okay. They look at something like this. Okay. And even let's just play devil's advocate. Let's say we just do get to roughly this top right over here. Boom, right? This top, let's readjust the bottoms a little bit more. Let's just go back down to here, right? We would still be buying below the 88%. You would still be buying at a massive discount. In fact, anything in this yellow box below this 0.78, you're still buying at a fantastic price. Because even if, let's say, you bought hypothetically at the top here, right, you would be looking at 3.3 times your money. And that's just buying this cycle's top. And like I said, that's just getting to only 3 billion market cap, right? I am undershooting us right now for the sake of making a point. Let's just say you bought in right now, and let's say a week later, price went down 30%. You might be stressed out. But then when you look at the bigger picture, going up to 3 billion market cap, you're looking at roughly 9.5 times your money. So yes, there might be always that downside. You could be down 40%. You put in $1,000, you're down to $600. Things are looking scary. But then when you look at the upside potential, you could be looking at potentially making like almost 10 grand from 1 grand. So that's how you have to think, right? That is just how you have to think. This is how institutions think about when they buy cryptos, when they buy meme coins, when they are looking to be pretty much accumulating at these lows and selling when altcoin season is going to be happening. Okay. Now, that is the bigger picture. We will break down the smaller picture just for those that do like the micro details and that do like to stay updated. We are currently kind of just in this type of range. We can see, boom. I do believe Toshi will be retesting these bottoms over here at 260 to 270 million market cap. On a higher time frame, I would be looking at purchases and sniper zones at roughly, take away the monthly, somewhere over here. This is where I'd really be looking to be accumulating Toshi. Okay, the 230 million market cap to 270 million market cap range is the most perfect range. Why? Because this is where all of the key support is from the monthly candles. So we have months and months and months of data supporting these zones. So if we hypothetically even saw a big fake out or a big drop before we officially start to go up, even if, like I said, we went down a certain amount, like 30%, you would be buying at a very, very crucial, critical, massive support zone. And like I said, in the long term, it doesn't really, really matter that your portfolio is even down a little bit. Now, of course, if you want those extra gains, like 15x instead of 12x and etc., then yes, it does matter for the micro level. It really, really does. In terms of structure, I don't like that we are, still going like very, very weak to the upside, which is why I believe, we will be having at least a micro pullback at the bare minimum to 260 million market cap, because that still would keep us in the, perfect zone. And it would still make us have higher lows consistently, right? We have a low, higher low, higher low, equal lows, higher low. And then if we go back down here and go up, we would have another higher low. But yeah, that is ultimately it, Toshi holders. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what is your current price prediction. I love you guys so, so much. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.